Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Amanda and I'm going to be going over how to add and subtract real numbers, specifically integers. So one of the things that you should know is when you're adding and subtracting integers, you can use the concept of a number line to start understanding the concept. So you can see here that I have a number line set up and we're going to use this concept for the first two questions that you see on the screen here. All right, of course, we have our 0 in the middle, and I'm going to go ahead and put the 1, 2, 3 to the right of 0, which means that my spacing of the number line is going by ones. All right, which means that when I go to do the other side of the number line, I also want to go by ones. All right, I'm just going to go ahead and include a few numbers on here. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Let's go ahead and throw 10 in here as well. And now let's start working on the negative side of this number line. So we have, it's kind of symmetrical, right? So of course on the other side here, we're going to have -1, we'll have -2, -3, -4, -5, -6, -7, we have -8, we have -9, and that should be plenty. All right, let's go ahead and get started. So when you're adding a negative number, you want to move in the direction to the left. Now, when you're adding a positive number, you want to move to the right. Okay, so let me show you how that works. We have 7 plus -3. So we have +7 over here. I'm going to go ahead and put a point right on +7. And what we want to do is, since we're adding -3, and that's a negative number, we are going to be moving 3 units to the left. So 1, 2, 3, that puts us right here at +4. That means that 7 plus -3 is going to put us at +4. All right. In other words, 7 plus -3 is the same as saying 7 minus 3. So that's also important to know. All right, we also have -5 plus -2. So here's a plus minus again, right? So we can almost treat this the same way, but let's stick to what we just did just so that we can understand the concept of moving right and moving left. We are adding a negative. We'll be moving to the left again. We have -5. Let's throw a point in there. And since we're adding -2, we want to make sure that we're moving 2 units to the left. So moving 2 units to the left puts us right over here at -7. And that means that -5 plus -2 is the same as -7. Also, it's equivalent to -5 minus 2, okay, which is the same as -7. So whenever you see plus, minus, you can treat it as a negative sign or as a minus sign altogether. All right. We also have sum or difference, right? So that we don't always have plus minus. So we have some other questions down here on the bottom. Let's look at those. And of course, the numbers are a little larger, so we might not necessarily want to utilize this number line all the time. All right, the first question here, -4 plus 2. We can most certainly use the number line for this, nice and small. We have -4 plus 2. If we started at -4, we would have to add 2. That's a positive number. And so since we're adding 2, we're moving to the right 2 units, and that should put us at -2. All right, so this one was not too bad at all. But now take a look at this one here. These numbers are a little bit larger. We might not necessarily want to throw them on a number line. So let's at least think about our number line when we work with these numbers. We have -12 plus -10, right? If you have a negative number and you're adding another negative number, right, what you're going to do is you're going to move to the left. That means that number is going to continue to be negative, right? So what we want to do here is we want to say -12, basically minus 10. And that's going to bring us to -22. All right, way into the negatives there. All right, now let's take a look at this one. This one's kind of interesting. We have -7 minus -10. So what that means, whenever you have a negative and a negative next to each other, you can change that into a positive sign. Negative is always going to become positive. All right, so -7 plus 10, in other words, will basically is the same as saying adding 10, and -7 plus 10 then becomes +3. All right, last question here. We have 30 minus 50. If you have +30, okay, and going backwards now, whenever you have a minus sign, it's really like having this, plus minus. So you're adding a negative, right? So if you have positive 30 and you wanted to move 50 to the left, that would bring you into the negatives, wouldn't it? And that would actually give you negative 20. All right, so I hope this was helpful for adding and subtracting integers. And if you have some trouble understanding the concept of integers, go ahead and check out my video on real numbers. And make sure to subscribe if you're liking my videos. Thanks, everyone.